Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. Of course, we have Rosie here. As always, an honor to have her here. And we got Rick, is your six covered here as well. There may be some other people that pop in. We'll just wait and see on that. But in the meantime, I'll let Rick, is your six covered. Would you like to do an intro?
I sure would. Thanks for the invite. Hey, Rosie.
Hey.
Everybody out in the external, I appreciate it. I've been having a lot of fun, a lot of shooting this week and a half, so definitely enjoyed it. A couple train wrecks along the way, but other than that, I had a good time. Got some new videos coming out, and check it out. Let's have some fun.
All right, Rosie, would you like to do an intro? And there's definitely a lot to talk about. I've really been paying attention to the market the past few days, and you may have a lot more input into it than me. And I'm just going to let you just run. Just go.
Yeah. Thank you, TR. Good to see you, Rick, as usual. Don't point that at me over there. Thanks for having me on, TR. And hello, everybody on the side chat. Nice to see you. I don't think we had a chat last week. I guess it was TR. You had was last week the internet issue, or was it the week? Yeah. So we're actually 2 weeks ago, I kind of really once again sounded the warning bell with a lot of charts here that we were in extremely rarefied territory to the extent that very seldom in history have we been so overbought with such small values, such meager value propositions confronting us as we're in the stock market, really the last 6 months to a year. We talked about, last week was the State of the Union. That's right. I think I presented some charts and stuff, but we talked about how leveraged people were, and I have to get you guys to recall back in the 1920s, especially the late 1920s, we didn't really have the governance on the New York Stock Exchange and the Curb Exchange, what later became known as the NASDAQ, the over-the-counter, and the Amex Curb out there where people actually traded physically on the street. It was pretty much a free-for-all, and banks really ran the exchanges. There was no Securities and Exchange Commission. There nominal governance by a New York Stock Exchange committee. And of course, insider dealings, corruption were rampant. A lot of people went to jail in that period, especially in the early 1930s when a lot of scamming came out and things that were done. The bottom line in that era was that because banks were having a difficult time making money in the real economy at that time. Things were already starting to turn down a lot in the stock market. Car loadings, although we talk about the roaring 20s, actually by 1928 and 1929, the steam was coming out of the U.S. economy. The installment sales were starting to fall off. Remember, credit purchase was something new. Buying something on the installment plan, putting a little bit of money down and borrowing the rest. Well, eventually, banks turned their attention to the stock market, and so did corporations. And at that time, when corporations had excess funds to lend, oftentimes they would turn to the markets and offer their funds for people to borrow and speculate. They would get a return of maybe 4 to 6% on the money, which they were very happy to have. And they were secured by stock and a little bit of margin, a little bit of cushion on that stock. Well, it became a very popular way to gain traction and to gain profit in a market that looked like it was only going one way in the 1920s, the late 1920s, and that was up. And the higher it got, as we talked about last time, the more money got sucked in. So what you had is this inverse pyramid where you had strong early money on the bottom, but yet as the market climbed higher, you brought in greater volumes of very weak money, greedy money that was coming in just to chase returns. No concepts about investment return, no concept of what they're buying. Didn't care what the corporations do because the momentum was running and things were going up 6, 8, 9, 20, 40 points a day. Stocks were jumping. Well, as we said before, when a pyramid is on its point, it's very rocky and it's very unsteady. And I showed that chart of that market climbing up, what we call a parabolic curve. And like anything, a rocket or anything that you blast off, it reaches what's called a terminal velocity. And then gravity starts to exert its forces. And down it comes again towards Earth. And we had a perfect example of that over the last 5 or 6 trading days. Now, what happens now? You know, believe it or not, you know, I know you hate to love, on the one hand, the economists say this, on the other hand, they say that. And as Truman said, I need somebody, I need a one-handed economist, right? You don't want to hear both sides, but here it is. As awful as that might have felt for people trading on the market, given the size and the volatility, given the size and the value of these stocks in this market, that might have been a normalized and overdue correction that wiped out a lot of people. And if you look at this chart I'm going to share from 1987, you're going to find a lot of striking similarities. If I can get this thing on the screen share. If you look at a chart of the last 6 months or so, and you look at this chart, you're going to find a lot of similarities here. And I hope I'm going to share this up here. And TR, can everybody see that on the screen? This was the whole big run up all through the mid 2000s, and in 1987 we had that tremendous drop. This is the S&P 500, and we came almost straight down in a very short number of days, and did a lot of damage, and people were extremely scared during that. The drop that happened the other day was about a 5% drop. This was I think this was almost a 24% drop that occurred in one day. 5 times the magnitude of what occurred over the last couple of days. And just today, we started building and basing and coming out just like we did in 1987. Now, it's very possible that, and this will be tragic for the long run, that things will turn around, start to head higher, and we could eventually exceed the old highs. And therefore, more people will think that the market is invincible. It'll suck in even more money, and it'll lead to an even more dramatic overbought situation and something much larger in scale. People say, what happened? What triggered it? Well, one thing, you know, we've talked about all the tax cuts. Everything good was baked in the cake that could possibly be in the markets. All the good news was in the tax cuts. Trump's momentum on things in the economy, the job growth, the wage growth. For the first time in 20 years, there's actually wage growth. So consequently, interest rates started moving upward. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world. Reason being, after all these years, and TR, we've been on here years talking about low interest rates, as low as they can go, and they're not going anywhere. They're staying low. Well, they may finally be moving now. And the markets didn't like that initial sniff of more interest rates coming and all that because the economy is picking up steam. So what could happen under the first scenario, it gets up, it dusts itself off, and it moves forward just like it did in 1928 and early 1929 after the first series of interest rate hikes. The market regained its balance after a very rough 1928, March of 1928, and it started climbing all the way until September of 1929 because it was declared invincible at that time.
Well, I heard something today, Rosie, and I want your opinion on this because you know more about it than I do. Um, they actually talked about the wage increases and how it helped Main Street, but not necessarily Wall Street. And with the tax cuts and all that, and then the wage increases, that's where this turbulence happened. This is the way one person explained it, that the reason the turbulence happened was it's trying to correct itself because there was a wage increase, just like you said, that really hadn't happened in a while. Even though stocks rise and all that, and they were making more money and blah, 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 there was a wage increase, and it kind of caused a little bit of a problem. And so now it's trying to correct itself. Is that fair? Were they on track?
There's something to that. I can't come on here and say absolutely Stalker Steve says Rosie's it's a bubble pop you were talking about. We'll get to that in part B of our scenario here. We're still kind of working part A, where the recognition that the economy well and truly is picking up steam. And as a result, interest rates are going to be rising. And for the first time in a long time, the market is getting a sense of rising interest rates, and it's temporarily rattled a little bit. But it may quickly weigh out the fact that this is a good thing, because this signals an economy that's normalizing itself after years of 2% 10-year rates and a ridiculously low flat yield curve. We're finally starting to steepen things back to a normalized yield curve. Now, with rising interest rates, of course, that draws some money away from the stock market because people start to go to short-term bonds or increasing the returns, so they're more attractive. Commodities start to go up. There's things that start to, like we talked about last time, there's things that start to pull away money from the stock market. But remember, there's been a big momentum play here, a huge momentum play. So people aren't going to be so quick to just walk away, especially the professionals, because they know one thing's for sure, and it's always held true in every market in history, is that the markets don't fail on declines, they fail on the rally. So what's going to happen now, and it likely started today, is that the market's going to try its best over the next maybe week or two to do its level best to try to climb back and regain all of that ground that was lost. And there's a chance it might succeed and move on. And boy, are people going to be emboldened at that point. They're going to call it the bulletproof and the Teflon market. And it's going to go, they're going to go to the sky with, of course, tragic consequences in the end. That's scenario number one, adjusting to interest rates, because just like in the 1929, it took a series of several interest rate hikes to finally pop the bubble when the Federal Reserve came in and finally told the banks in New York and other banks in the nation stopped lending money to finance stock purchases, stopped lending margin money. And that threw a hell of a chill through the market at that time. Cut off the money flow, make it dear, and the market can't take it. Just like they did with silver in 1980. They changed the rules of the game. The margin that you had to put down to hold the silver contract, they effectively, well, for lack of a better word, they fucked the Hunt brothers and gave them up. That was it, to stop that market. Now, scenario B is more prepper, what I call prepper oriented. And it goes in line with what I talked about the last time when I showed the charts. When you go up on a parabolic curve like that ends up going almost straight up, all sense of values are just thrown out the window. Nobody even gives a hoot anymore what the earnings are, what the prospective earnings. Man, it's a momentum play. You can see the guys. I used to see this when I worked in investments in Hong Kong overseas and trading desks. The guys would be like, Tell the fundamentalists, stay the hell out. This is a momentum play. We don't want to, they might screw us up. We might actually start thinking in here. And we don't want to think. We just want to climb a momentum trade. But this thing's hit such a point of ridiculousness about 10 days ago with virtually nobody negative on the market that there was literally nobody left to buy, more money to shovel in. And all this big money came in at the top, not at the bottom, at the top. And it became super top heavy. Now you had this initial spike down. You have some ETFs or some electronic, some exchange traded funds that have been vaporized the last couple of days. Vaporized because they were so leveraged, and with the market, they were so betting on the market going up that when it took this big 10% hit, they just basically got vaporized here. There's been a tremendous amount of damage done. It's like a fracture in a rock. It's like if you have ever seen a fissure in a mountainside or a piece of granite, the fissure is not going to heal itself. This is like a huge crack. And now when people go to try to regain the top, it may be a little tougher sledding going up. And when they find that they can't regain the old peak of the market, panic will once again set in. Smart traders will realize this is it. And they'll hit the exit doors, and we'll have a more dramatic version of what happened over the last 5 days. Because there's a lot of people, imagine it's like the World Trade Center and the planes crashed in below the top of it. But there's a lot of people trapped above. There's a lot of money trapped up there now. And now the market's going to try to race up and try to put the ladders up to get these people out, but they may not make it out. This is what's going to be working against this market, making a new high here. Consequently, there may be something deeper at work here. It may not just be rising interest rates because the US dollar has been going down. And this underpins everything. And people are seeing that the US dollar is weakening here. And it may be that this market saw something really ugly ahead that scared the hell out of it. Remember, markets don't look at today, they look months ahead down the road. And somebody with a lot of money or some people with a lot of money saw something that they didn't like down the road. And they pulled the plug on their major investments. What could that be? Maybe the dollar cracks down to low levels because we have so much debt to fund that interest rates just suddenly spike. Because remember, there's trillions of dollars locked into these bonds that could be vaporized with a rapid rise in interest rates, and people struggle to get out, and all of a sudden rates shoot upward. Maybe the market saw that. So there's your two scenarios there. Which one is more likely? Well, given the run-up we had in the extreme valuations of 2018 beginning, it could be that scenario B puts a major cap on this bull market that's effectively been underway since July of 1932. We'll have to wait and see. Because basically we've been on one continuous rise since the last great bear market we had in 1929 to 1932 that took 90% of the value out of equities, 90%. If I was trading, and I've told you before, I had very little in this thing. If I was still in it now, I would use the rallies as a chance to get out. This what I call the last lifeboat that may be off the Titanic. Some people will take it, other people will go down with the ship. And you know, if you're a prepper, it's not a bad time considering all the kooky regulations that we talk about in California and registering ammunition purchases and stuff. It's not a bad time to stock up on your prepper stuff too, and be a little ahead of the curve. because it may be that the government's not going to be able to fund all the shit that it's been funding and all the debt financing that's been going on since the 1930s. So, TR, that's basically all I got. And Rick and Daniel, good to see you. So, if anybody else has any questions or anything on the side.
Now, are you saying basically all of it? You know, like you know, a lot of us do silver and gold, and kind of even that stock's going to go. I mean, is everything basically
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to be surprised, Rick, to see in the next couple of weeks if this thing turns south for a prolonged drop. I'm not going to be surprised if, you know, of course, Rick, when you have those initial, boom, those big selling things, a lot of people, professionals, need to raise money in a very short period of time. So they have to liquidate a lot of shit while the drop's going on. They have margin calls they have to meet. They got to put more money into certain things to maintain their position. So they sell off stuff like oil contracts. They sell off stuff like temporary, like silver and gold, just to raise cash to sort of protect their stock positions. So when we have these big selling waves like we had on Monday, everything, you know, when the paddy wagon comes, the good girls get taken away with the bad girls, and only later they get it sorted out downtown, you know, and they let the good girls go. So I'm saying silver and gold are the good girls, and they'll bounce up and find their own level again, especially if the dollar is under pressure, because remember, a weak dollar is the biggest boost to metals of anything. So if you have a weak dollar, you have an automatic, you know, automatic ride. You have an automatic lift underneath of that position. So I would say the only thing that temporarily pulled down gold and silver was the general rush to sell everything on Friday and Monday. Now we'll probably see that normalize. And if we take the next big cliff dive, we'll go down some more in there, but I expect silver and gold to really sort themselves out in short order and really shine in here.
So now, are you seeing yourself sell off a lot of stuff?
Me?
Yeah.
As you guys know, over the last 6 months to 8 months, I've sold out. I've said on here repeatedly, week after week, that I have the tiniest positions I've had because there's no value in stocks. There's nothing there. Buy low, sell high. I can't find anything that's low to buy. Everything looked high as hell to me. Now the tax cuts come in, but I tell you, a lot of companies, since everybody got the tax break across the board, all the corporations got the tax cut. That tax cut didn't favor any particular corporation. It's an across the board tax cut. Therefore, a lot of that's going to be competed away by these companies. They're going to use their reduced tax rate to try to get an advantage on their competitors. And they'll probably eventually, within a year or so, they'll probably compete away that tax advantage, that tax cut that was given. Of course, the winner will be the people that, you know, the purchasers and consumers out there that benefit by competition and things. But ultimately, it's irresistible, Rick, that they can't resist trying to build volume by cutting price. They'll take advantage of that tax cut windfall to try to heighten their competitive position in the marketplace and cut prices. So that's what I mean by competing away. Linda said, what about your Tesla short? Did you cover that? Oh, hell no. Tesla's one of the biggest flim-flams out there. General Motors builds 6 million cars a year. Tesla builds, what, 60,000? And yet they're worth a multiple of General Motors? I don't think so. This is the ridiculous thinking that dominates some of these overpaid analysts and shit on Wall Street that can't even put a toilet paper roll properly on the holder, but they can tell you how to tell you the values of this, that, and the other.
Rosie, what's the date when the tax break starts?
I think it's actually coming in. I don't know the effective date, but of course, Wall Street anticipates, and factors that in way ahead of time. I'm not sure, Daniel, when the actual, I think it's year 2018 here is when the full benefits of that corporate tax cut will come in.
As far as the private citizen.
I think also 2000 is, I think this is the year that we realize the benefits of that tax cut. Let's see,
Yeah,
Stan said, I'd like to know how they're going to.
So if you sell all your stocks off, you're going to have to put that money into something else, or you're going to get basically taxed on it, right?
Well, if you're within a sheltered tax plan, what people find repulsive sometimes is holding cash, but sometimes cash is definitely king. When everybody's being mauled all around you, your purchasing power is being perfectly maintained, because we're talking about even 1929, the great crash in 29, it really bottomed out in 1932. So a mere 3 years later, if you could sit in cash during that whole decline, imagine the bargains that you had when everybody else was basically holding a tin cup on the corner and selling apples. You had a ton of cash in your hand. You would think to yourself, cash was pretty cool to hold during that thing. And this is what I hope people think about cash in this market situation. So Carr said, Rosie, can I sell off 401k? Are there penalties too significant to justify it? Well, a 401k by definition is a sheltered plan, right? I mean, you're only taxed on the outflow. So, it's like a bubble where your money grows, but then when you start taking distributions, then you pay tax on that. So I don't think that there's significant penalties for something like that. I'm just giving you guys my opinion on that. Of course, you should talk to your own advisor about that. But
if you move it into something else, though, you're not as penalized if you were trying to take.
Well, what I do, Rick, because interest rates are potentially rising and $1 a week, I'll buy short-term bond fund, something that holds 1-year maturities. And, as the rates go up, the return will start to go up, and the money will be relatively protected. It won't lose any value, but I'll get a rising yield. Or a money fund account, a money market account, something people haven't heard probably for 15 years, money market accounts. But make sure it's a secured money market account. Because there will be, if the big one is on, there will be big numbers of failures like 2008 of some of the big brokers, the Bear Stearns, and some of the other ones that bit the dust. And that you don't want to be waiting a year or two while the lawyers sort all the shit out and try to figure out who has what and who has what liabilities. So for me, I got my brother short-term bond fund, just bonds that are notes that are held for 1 year, U.S. Treasury 1-year notes. If interest rates rise, which they probably will, then you'll be in good shape. You'll enjoy a rising return, and your principal will be absolutely secured within that. Linda said, make sure that money market doesn't break the buck. Yeah, money markets try to maintain $1 per share value, but it's not always possible sometimes. So, you want like something like a Vanguard or U.S. government fund, or some government short-term bond fund, something like that, or CDs. CDs are going to start rising too if this thing picks up here. So I'm not bragging on Tesla. Okay, I think Elon Musk is he's like a P.T. Barnum to me, like a modern P.T. Barnum. He puts his finger in a lot of pies, SpaceX, a lot of other things, the Tesla electric trucks. And if you try to do too many things, you end up not doing one thing. You end up not doing anything well. And I think he's got his finger in too many pies right now with Tesla. And I just think that he's more concerned with the value of his stock than he is with the company and what it's doing. I never saw anybody in years that worked so hard to puff up the value of their own, his own company as he's done.
Didn't they just send off a rocket to have a Tesla car orbit the Earth?
Today we had a launch of SpaceX. Yeah.
That was the largest rocket, I believe.
But the issue is, are you in aerospace? Are you in cars production, truck production? Are you making solar roof tiles? I mean, which business are you in? I just think you get yourself stretched too thin, and you end up. Remember, they're burning cash like crazy. They haven't come near turning a profit. They're burning through something like $10 million of cash a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring this back to the household. I'm in a situation right now where I just turned my 2-week notice in, and I'm cashing out my long term. They're buying me out at full price, and I'm dropping half of that into silver, and the rest is going into the garden and growing my own food. I've pretty much just wiped out all my personal debt, but this times right now it's just too uncertain. I was going to put half of it because I know silver will take a slight drop, but if the U.S. dollar crashes, that's going to be money, and the rest of it's going to be food, making sure my family eats. So
yeah, I mean that's a real command decision. I mean that's like pushing all in on the poker table while you're waiting for the river card to be turned. But I'm just going to suggest maybe 1/4 into silver and the rest just keep it in a CD, and then if we do get the big foom off, then you'll be sitting in the catbird seat when we do get that knock-on drop that pulls silver and gold down. Because if and when things destabilize at that point, of course, people will be looking for alternatives. Let's not even talk about Bitcoin. We talked about that weeks ago. My thoughts on Bitcoin, and they just took that out and shot it. Okay, yeah. That's the end of Bitcoin. It's like a chicken with its head cut off. It just doesn't know it's dead yet, running around out there.
Well, I'm looking at my majority. I'm paying off all debt.
Yeah, you're in good shape. You're in excellent shape. You know, like I say, under scenario A, you know, we just go onward and upward, and the economy rolls ahead here, and world trade. But remember, this was a worldwide phenomenon. This drop here wasn't just here. So this market has it has a gigantic fracture in it right now, a huge fracture. It's like somebody took a sledgehammer and a wedge and just slammed a dramatic slash into this crack into this market. Cracks just don't heal themselves that easily. You know, it's like a fractured leg. You can't run on that leg for a long time until it fully heals. So we'll see. It's just that silver and gold. You know what I have, Daniel? When I have silver and gold, I have 5,000 years of history behind me, and I can't find anything else in the history of the world that can buck up and hold up under any condition long term and perfectly maintain its purchasing power. Did gold and silver. So I'm going to take I'm going to bet the 5,000 year tradition goes on another 5,000 years or something into the future.
Maybe you ought to invest into some of that blue there, Mr. Daniel.
Something like a 550.
Yeah, 550. TR will like that.
Yeah, I'll just have to get TR up here to help me set it up and get cranking.
Yeah,
silver,
I tell you,
bullets, band-aids, and beans.
If things unfold in scenario B, it's going to be a very rapid unfolding here, and there's going to be, you know, hello, Occupy Wall Street, hello, Occupy New York, Occupy Washington, the same stuff that we went through in 2008, 2009, but just on a much more gigantic and enormous scale. So look at how fast that crap took to break out, and riots in Oakland and everything else at that time. So make sure you're protected. Is your six covered?
Yeah, Rick, it's not only going to be blue, it's going to be pretty quiet.
It's going to be pretty quiet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very nice. Well, I don't know if you ever saw my email or not, or my comment, but bring all that shit down here. You can load all you want. Bring the supplies. I got the machine.
Now, I'll get you up here.
Yeah,
We can really stretch your legs.
Said food prices are set to rise by a good bit. Yeah.
Oh,
This
they've
is the
already
eighth.
risen. The portions have shrunk so much, it's pathetic. The price didn't go up, but the portions came down.
What do we food?
Yep.
We've
the
talked
size of
about
cans.
that with the great shrinking sugar bag from 5 pounds to 4, the ice cream that's no longer a half a gallon. It's the secret inflation that they whittle away your purchasing power, but they don't have to put it like that into a governmental statistic. So it looks like inflation's fine, but we know it's bullshit. We know you're getting less for your money today. Package size, you hold a Big Mac today, you compare that to years ago, there's no comparison in the size between the two. Hamburgers, all that stuff is just coffee.
Then they're mad because we want to eat 2 of them.
Well, we like to supersize shit.
No, yeah. But at the end, you got to say, like you got to say, yeah, give me 2 Big Macs,
Yeah, give me a
large fry, and then we'll say a Diet Coke.
Number 7 fuckers up there.
So if you're gonna collect silver and you're gonna utilize it as a currency, if shit hits the fan, right? You're gonna need some type of a testing kit to make sure that what you're getting, what you're giving.
Well, see, this is where you're smarter though, because you have the United States junk silver pre-1965. That's your beautifully fungible asset that they know you didn't go in your backyard and just stamp it out and make your own. That shit's going to fly like it's 1950 again. Ain't nobody going to have a problem. It'll be how much a dollar worth of that will get. 12 times, 20 times face. I mean, it's like there's your
ultimate. If you're like Daniel and you got big bars of silver.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Daniel's stuff. I'm just saying, in the prepper sort of world, you have small units like silver dimes, silver quarters, half dollars. I mean, that really gives you, you don't have to lay somebody 100-ounce bar and say, "Can you make change for me?"
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why you need a scale.
Yeah. So they pull out
go with junk silver.
They pull out their revolver and they say, "Yeah, here's your change right here."
They say, "Here's a pre-64 quarter that just bought a whole meal."
Yep. That's what I talk about. Preservation of purchasing power with precious metals is unparalleled.
You got to be careful with that, though. I did a video a year or so back, and I talked about you can have all the gold, all the silver in the world. So now I go to TR's house, right? And I got all the gold, all the silver in the world. And I hand TR a silver coin or a gold coin. And he's looking down at his pantry. And he's on his last, couple buckets of food. And he's got to feed his family. He's going to tell you to stick that silver coin up your ass because it ain't going to be.
He may or may not. I don't know. It depends how liquid the economy is at that point in time, Rick, to tell you the truth. The bigger concern is there's other things too. There's antifungal creams, there's antibiotics, there's a million things that are going to have tremendous value that are going to be hard to acquire in a potentially prepper economy. Because maybe like Baltimore, they smash in the doors to the pharmacies. Yeah, they smash in the doors and they steal everything, and then a pharmacist in his right mind wants to go to work when he's in the middle of a fucking war zone in downtown Baltimore, right?
Silver and gold is only going to have value at 2 stages of the whole thing. At the beginning, when you got to get somewhere and it's worth, and you can use that silver to get a tank of gas or get some supplies, and then after that, it's going to be during the recovery and post-recovery.
I told people buy face masks. Have a couple boxes of the face mask to wear in case stuff is bad and sickness and things stalk the land. You may be damn glad you have a microbiotic face mask to wear around. You know, we don't think about these things. We don't think about the health aspects of prepping.
Shit, soap, toothpaste, you know, all those things.
Yeah, all those things. Bars of soap are tremendous.
All right. I stopped dating all those skanks, and I got me a good woman now, so y'all can get off that subject. I've stepped up my game. I'm not dating those skanks anymore, okay?
Penile implant pumps.
Well, we'll give you a pass on that now. Yeah, that's right. You know, you're out of the you drained the swamp down there now. You're up on land level now with things that don't crawl out of the ooze. Yeah, you're doing good.
So TR's on the top shelf.
Yeah, I agree. See, Jack Thompson, unfortunately, yes, numismatic silver will be useless to as shit hits the fan scenario. This is the thing you got to understand. Ain't nobody going to dicker about a 1909 SVDB coin, penny, or, you know, a rare silver dollar. It's going to be, man, it's silver, but I don't care what the hell it is, you know. You can take that and shove it up. You know what? I'm not playing the collector silver game because the collector market is DEAD. There ain't no collector market anymore. Yeah. I just say that if the ultimate prepper is those junk silver and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only silver I buy is like this quarter here.
Yep.
I know you can't see it, but it's like, you know, 1962, whatever, 1940s, you know, old. I agree, junk silver. And when I go, and I don't have enough of it, I know, I'll just go in there and I'll say, hey, I need $100 worth of, or whatever at the time. I may say, I need $50. I need $100 of this silver. I want old coins. I want American coins. And he'll hand me a bag of these and he'll look it up. I got a pretty good coin guy here locally, and he'll look up the current price and weigh it out and say, okay, there you go. There's $100 worth of silver.
It's a great thing because you don't have to have it assayed. Now, I'm not down with bars, Daniel. I don't know if you have bars or not.
Oh,
but,
heck,
you know,
no.
Okay.
No way.
And then you're going to have a problem with what's called fungibility. You're going to have you want to be as liquid as you can so nobody even has to think twice about what they're being handed. It's like, oh man, you're good to go. Okay, here you're good. They just give you the stamp of approval.
So Rosie's saying liquid silver, so I guess Patron is the case then.
Yeah, liquid.
Just old junk.
Silver, yeah.
You just get old junk where you can bury it in a mason jar.
I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I've certainly run my pie hole long enough.
Nah, I mean, as much as we've said it many times before, and I know I had a conversation with Sonia yesterday or today, and I was like, look, I don't have money to invest in gold and silver to really make a big difference. So I invest in guns, lead, copper. None of that stuff's going to make me rich in the long term. But if things get bad enough, I got assets I can free up. I can liquidate. I'm not looking to be. I've never been rich. I never thought I'd be rich, and I'm just trying to maintain a lifestyle, and then that lifestyle is freaking surviving.
Chat slut.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about silver. Yes, it's junk silver. The pre-64 stuff, the pre-68. But the rest of it is, well, now I'm thinking my garden's going to be a whole lot bigger than it was. Just so I can always make sure that the food's growing.
Do you have a greenhouse, Daniel?
Not yet. I want to do this spring, though. I'm going to kind of like do a redneck greenhouse, put the fence up, and then put the plastic around it and over it to get everything started that I want to start outside.
Yeah.
That, and you got chronic wasting disease up here. It's moving up into our area as far as the deer. So I'm going to get the fence up for about 3 beef cows also. Get some pregnant heifers.
Nice. I'm working on that. I need to get a fence. I need to get a fence in the property though. Man, it's going to be expensive. I definitely want to get a couple cattle.
I get goats.
I ain't eating no damn goat.
Goat is the #1 meat eaten in the entire world. More people eat goat than they do beef.
Hold on, TR. I don't give a fuck.
Goat's good.
I'm having a filet and burger.
Have you ever ate lamb?
Nope. I won't eat one of those either.
You never eat lamb? You never eat a gyro?
I hate gyros. Mm-mm.
Oh, come on.
No, gyro should just be yours.
Yeah, you fucking California freaking blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I can't
He's eating worse.
Yeah.
He's eating all that food they have out in California.
Oh, man. I just... Why the hell would you eat a gyro when you can have perfectly good Mexican food?
Now, the reason I say goats is they're easier to raise. They're a lot more manageable, and the meat is really, really good. I mean, if you really want to get on a prepper, meat substance, goats is the way to go.
I ain't even fucking goat or lamb.
They're
You'll
low
see
maintenance.
cattle running my property. Chickens and cattle. I don't want to eat no damn goat.
Cheers.
If I plant ahead, I won't have to. If I don't plant ahead, then I got to eat goat.
Hey, Rick, I want to tell you something about cows. They eat, they poop, they make baby cows.
Yeah.
They poop. You milk them, they poop. And these piles of poop ain't small.
Oh, well, I used to have cattle at my old place.
Okay.
I used to have a bunch of turkeys and chickens, hogs.
You're in the deep south now. I mean, I grew up eating squirrels, and squirrels are basically rats with really pretty fluffy tails. So when you grow up eating rats, goat
like chicken.
is goat, hell, it's the same thing as a lamb or a sheep or whatever. And if you go into a really fancy restaurant, what's one of the top highest paid damn plates you get? Lamb chops. Basically, it's fucking goat. It's just like, well, if you want the really fancy meat, raise some fucking goats.
Nope. You are wasting your time trying to talk me into eating a fucking goat.
I've had goat before. Not bad.
I have once, but it didn't even taste like goat because they had so much shit on it. I just don't want to do it.
TR, send me SoCal's address.
You'll eat a fucking bug.
Now, if SoCal made it, I might try it for sure. I know if I got a goat and cut it up and threw it on the barbecue, it'd fucking taste like goat.
I even bought some goat milk here the other day from a local produce stand. You know what it tasted like?
Goat.
Tasted like milk.
Here's the thing. I had a goat. His name was Rusty.
Damn bit of difference between it and regular cow milk.
Oh, fuck. Come on. Even goat milk. You see, I had one goat. His name was Dusty. And
wait, you milked Dusty?
He used to fucking like piss in his mouth and stuff, and you'd smell that like goat hair smell, that goat piss smell. So every time I even smell goat cheese, all I can flash back to is him pissing in his mouth. Like, I am not eating a fucking goat.
Well, see, you're
drinking no goat milk.
You milk the female goats, not the male goats.
I don't milk any goat because I give a fuck less about a goat. Now, I wouldn't mind having a goat to go mow down the fucking weeds and shit. But that shit, it'll be the safest goat on the planet. Unless someone else wants to fucking eat his ass, because I ain't going to eat him.
Don't be prejudiced now against goats.
Goats have feelings, hashtag.
That's it. Goats have feelings too.
I mean, really, if I was going to raise a meat crop, other than rabbits, but rabbits are kind of a pain in the ass from everything I've seen. If I was going to do a meat crop, or whatever you want to call it, a livestock, goats would be the way to go. They require the least amount of maintenance, the least amount of having to make sure. I mean, as long as they got briars and bark and shit to eat on, they'll survive. And then they'll provide you with milk, cheese, meat, everything.
TR, you better make sure they don't eat your fucking siding off of your house too. Keep.
Well, yeah.
You come home and half your house is gone.
Your garage door.
Damn goats there just looking at you, just chopping away.
Yeah, I mean, you can feed them beer cans and they'll survive.
What's that bird they use for a pack? For packing that's like an emu or something. What's the bird? Not an ostrich. It's the bigger one, but it's all red meat. And you see a lot of people
It probably is emu. It probably is. But I wanted to say about the goat, the other thing too is, especially out here in hoity-toity California, that goat's milk makes some very incredible cheese too. Some very renowned cheeses, goat milk cheese, which is pretty good.
Oh, you know what the best bird to eat is? The most tasty?
What?
Condor. Condor.
I'm going to have to report you to Fish and Game.
Statute of limitations is over.
I got to get my phone. I got to report. I think that's on the endangered species.
It is now. It is now.
Go.
It wasn't when I was there, but it is now.
Shit, that's funny.
Oh, if I'm not mistaken, feta cheese is goat cheese. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I just think goat cheese is really starting to get more and more into the regular market.
You can tell what's goat cheese. You just smell it, and if it smells like goat piss, it's goat cheese.
You just had a bad experience. We've all had that experience with a bad woman or a bad date night.
This is not a goat-free zone here. Yeah.
The smell of a goat cheese.
You probably had some negative occurrence, when you went to the state fair as a kid or something, over to the goat area or something, probably kicked your net or something.
But seriously, goat meat is the #1 meat eaten in the world.
You know why that is, right?
Because everybody don't have cows.
The rest of the world's poor.
You can't have cows on the side of a freaking cliff and they survive and you can make them reproduce. That's why they got goats. Even in the Middle East, they got goats. I've been in the Middle East, out in the middle of when you talk about in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden you turn around, and there's a damn guy with a herd of goats. And it's like, what the hell? What are these? How in the hell are these goats surviving? And there's like one sprig of grass every 10 foot. And these goats are eating it. And guess what? You go to the little local diner or whatever, and they're serving up gyros in the Middle East. because goats can survive out there.
Yeah, and they use them for sex toys too.
Yeah, goat
Yeah.
ball. Rick, we don't need that lesson. Okay.
Another reason not to have a goat. Your neighbor might come over and want to be frisky with your goat.
Yeah, I worry about it. More of it eating half your house while you're at work. So it's my concern. Start pulling this siding off.
I can't believe this.
You can hear TR come.
This conversation is in goats right now.
You can hear TR come home. What the fuck are you doing? Are you kidding me? That goat just standing there.
Can you eat a peacock, right? It probably tastes like
Don't
a turkey.
tell me that MF, dude. Are you kidding me? You dumb. You gonna put that siding back on it?
Hand him a nail. Hand him some nails and have him put it back on.
Hey, Rick, I have come home and seen where the goats have eaten like 1/3 of my garage door.
Fuck. All right. If you guys want, I don't know if you guys heard this story right. All right. So I had 2 horses and I decided, you know what? I got a bunch of weeds. I'm going to go get a goat. So I looked in the penny saver. This lady was selling goats. Drive over to her house and there's this little baby goat and he's standing on top of his mom. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know, he's got these little nubs, you know, so I'm like, okay, I'll take that goat. Well, as time goes on, it gets bigger. Well, I used to keep hay. I used to keep all the alfalfa in you know, those metal sheds that you have to spin like 30,000 screws to put all together. Well, one morning I hear this fucking goat and he's just ramming into this goddamn, the corner of the building. Bam, bam. So, you know, I get that fixed. Well, this goat used to go, he had a big old rack and it goes small here and goes out like that. Well, one day, well, every day when I feed the horses, he'd run over and he'd hit that bucket and the horse would lift his head up and then the goat would jump in and then eat all his food. So one day the horse said, you know what, I had enough of this shit. So he kicked him and his hoof got stuck in between the V of his head, and that horse just kept stomping the living piss out of this goat. And finally, Dusty, he's like walking around. You can almost see the stars like a cartoon. And but I said, I'm never getting another fucking goat again. So I have had goats. They stink like piss. Fuck goats. I ain't eating them, and ain't happening.
That's like we had a woodpecker growing up at 5 a.m. in the morning. It would land on the side of the house and it was so fucking loud. It was like an echo chamber. Everybody in bed, just sit straight up. And that damn thing was around there for like 3 weeks, man. Until finally somebody took a slingshot, just took the damn thing out one day. Oh man, can you imagine like 5 a.m. every morning? That thing just starts coming.
That's so funny because when we first moved to this house, I always thought it was a joke. Like I seen, you know, Woody Woodpecker and shit on TV, and I know there was woodpeckers and shit, and I know they would whack into trees and all that. But then we had this big dead pine, and this woodpecker can hit this thing, and it sounds like a real construction fucking jack. I'm like, that's real. Now I know why the guy on Woody Woodpecker used to get so pissed off.
Well, I mean, every day we'd have to go down and collect the shoes. People would be throwing shoes and shit and slippers at it at 5 a.m. in the morning, dropping all kinds of shit over the side like it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame at the cathedral, you know, dropping the hot lead down, trying everything get this fucking woodpecker off the side. And that thing just kept going away. Nothing bothered that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Rick,
I guess.
do you want to know why I never ate woodpecker?
That was I reckon there was something
because it tastes like goat.
Yeah,
no, because there ain't nothing left when you shoot it with a shotgun.
I don't know what the hell he was after, but it certainly messed up the side of the house a lot. in there. I don't know what it was.
I'll be right back, you guys. I'm gonna go check the oxygen level.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Is that the new euphemism for taking a shot, or what? We're checking our oxygen levels?
No, smoking a cigarette. See, TR, he's a bachelor. TR's a bachelor. He can smoke right in his house.
Yeah, I just smoke in my house. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Jack, we had to go out in the afternoon and collect all the shoes that people threw and slippers out the window and shit every day.
Well, what those woodpeckers are after is the bugs that are in a house. They tap the wood.
Like, it's hard to be a good shot at 5 a.m. in the morning when you're just firing blind out there.
Yeah, just use a shotgun. Aim for the loudest noise. Just make sure it's not the mother-in-law. Wait a minute.
You know, in the inner city ghetto, we probably would have taken out about 8 people in the immediate vicinity if we'd done that. So
Rick can probably hear me, but next time I go visit him, I'm going to make it a point to go find some goat meat and bring to his house for us to cook up.
Yeah, why don't you just sneak him in some of that and, you know, Armageddon or something like that, or a weekend shoot the shit. Just put it on his plate. He won't know.
Yeah.
He'll be like, damn, TR, you buying some nicer cuts of meat and stuff now down here. Hell yeah.
Oh, I almost told a story, but I ran it through my mind first, and no, because it could all come out wrong.
There you go.
I knew a vegetarian once. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
They said seagulls are a-holes.
Oh, seagulls will make you sick.
They're a pain in the ass on the around the water and all that. Just always been a pain in the ass. Go out fishing, they're everywhere.
So we went from the stock market to seagulls.
Yeah.
So TR, how's that new gun?
Amanda said I'm tired. I'm afraid of getting.
How can you not? I'm looking at it right now.
Amanda said, I'm afraid of getting mad cow disease when I eat beef. You don't know where that shit's coming from. Actually, they're pretty well, you haven't heard of any mad cow in a long time. They're pretty clamped down on a lot of what goes through the butchering process now in terms of spinal cords and brain parts and all that.
Well, they found the cause of mad cow disease. What happened there, where they were taking sick cows, and they were pretty much recycling into cow feed. So I mean, this is no joke. They were feeding cows to cows, and that's what caused the mad cow disease. So they stopped that, and now you don't even hear about it anymore.
Yeah, basically cannibalism. I mean, if you feed cows to cows, bad stuff's going to happen. If you feed humans to humans, bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, this is about the time, TR, you're supposed to show us your 1873 again.
Okay. Here we go. Look at this.
Why don't you talk about the history of how you first thought about it and what kind of search you went on, and what was the determining factor of your purchase?
All right. I wanted, as many of you know, I have 45 long Colts and single action army, actually Rugers, but pistols. So I wanted a 45 long Colt and a rifle. So I started doing research. I've been wanting one for a couple of years, and here in the last month, I started looking really hard. I was like, well, let me get a Henry. Henry is, a lot of people like Henrys, and they seem to be really good guns. And they were in the $750, close to $800 range. And I tried to find one local. so I could go feel it, and I couldn't. So I was looking online, and I found that, okay, I can get a Henry for close to $800, less than $800 actually, but in the high 800 range, I could get a Winchester 92. And the more I looked and looked and looked, I could actually get the 1873 for another couple $100. So around the $1,100 range, I could get a really high quality Winchester 1873. I know it's not coming out under my web camera, but the bluing on this barrel is superb. It is really, really nice. Really nice walnut wood, and not a color case hardened finished, a actual color case hardened treatment. And so in the $1,100 range, I could get a really, really nice Winchester it is made in Japan, but that's where they do all their offshoots, all their old guns that they can't make in Connecticut. They just don't have the capability to do that and their other guns. So they commissioned out to Japan, manufacturer in Japan, all their old guns that they just can't mass produce. And I'm telling you, this thing fit and finish, just superb quality. I think this is one of the, as far as guns, I think this was one of the best investments even when I bought it for $10.88 plus shipping, blah, 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 blah. If you go to Bud's, if you go to like Gun Broker or whatever, these things are selling for $1,300 to $1,500. I got it brand new for $1,100.
Yeah, I think that's the sexiest gun on planet Earth then. So.
Yeah. Oh, I just love this thing.
I'm sorry, guys. That's the sexiest gun on planet Earth right there.
That thing's awesome, man. Congratulations.
And you're carrying the whole arsenal in it, shit. How many rounds that have? 13?
Yeah, 13 in tube.
Holy hell, if you can't get it done, even you're bouncing along on horseback,
Yeah, I could have got a carbine length model, but when you're spending that kind of money, it's like, go ahead and get the 24-inch barrel, full length tube, 13 rounds in it. I already had 45 long Colts. I already set up to load 45 long Colts. So it's like, there's no choice, for me. It's like, okay, 45 long Colt.
I like the way you thought about that, because you thought about it, the margin, how much is it really going to cost you to get, you might as well go for the gold. Don't do it half measures. Get something really good, that's going to hold its value and appreciate more than in a lower model. I admire you for doing that. If you're going to do it, buy it once and buy it right. Go for the gold.
See, he learned that when he bought the 550 and should have got the 650.
That's exactly why I bought the 550, because I thought it was a better model. Nah, I'm just fucking with you, but
me too. Rick, that's a beautiful rifle.
Rick, don't be jelly. Okay.
Rick, I promise you, Rick, you will shoot. You will fall in love with this gun. I know you will.
I already did.
This thing is this.
Yeah, he'd go crazy. Like, he'd be the next Hickok 45 out with that thing. He'd set up all kinds of special shit out there to shoot and stuff. He'd be like, he'd get a new hat. He'd probably get an old Western hat and stuff and be out there.
He got a Western hat. Shit, I used to ride bulls back in the days. See, that's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about me. I used to.
Well, if it's not on video, it didn't happen, right?
This shit was before video.
Oh, it's definitely going down to the farm, whether it's Farmageddon or whatever. when it warms up a little bit, it's not too bad right now, but when it warms up a little bit and a few of us get down to the farm, we're going to do some, I'm going to bring my rig down, the single action pistols, and
we're going to have a Western competition.
A Western competition. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. As long as I get to walk around and whistle.
I'm going to come down dressed like Miss Kitty and Gunsmoke down there.
Listen,
we don't even really use a timer. We'll just go beep and just go fucking run the shit. And they ain't gonna be no winners. It's just go fucking have fun.
That's right. What do we got here? Yeah, the Marlin. I like the Marlin lever actions too. Those eject off the side. I kind of enjoy that a little more as well.
Yeah, I've had some people comment, and I guess they didn't really get it. They're like, "Is that you gonna put a scope on it?
Oh, yeah.
You gonna do this? You gonna do it?" And I was like, "Hell no! This is nostalgia here. This
right.
is like fucking.
That's pure fun shooting there. That's what the hell that is.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna get a scope, you get one of these and you put it on one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what a grade card with all A's on it looks like.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's my daughter's.
Check this out, Daniel. See that? Rifle targets.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, there we go. Daniel, can I see that again? Can you? I put you on. I got it.
Top secret.
That's beautiful.
My daughter got all A's on a grade card. She had a choice between driving lessons, a computer, or a Henry. She took the Henry.
What caliber is it?
That's a 22 mag. It's for shooting squirrels, them tree rats, and groundhogs.
Hell yeah.
Won't be much left of the rat, but that's cool.
Oh, no, there's plenty left of the rat with the 22 Magnum.
Now, are you guys familiar with flying squirrels?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
All right, so supposedly
you've got to lead them a little farther.
How can you kill flying squirrels? It's easy. You just lead them a little more. Can you tell the difference, like if they were just running around during the day?
You won't see them during the day.
Oh, so they're just only night?
Right.
Yeah, they're fully nocturnal. But we are ate up with them. We are in the area you and I are in. There's a lot of flying squirrels, but they're just like purely nocturnal.
See, now I'm thinking thermal or night vision, and like using them as clay pigeons when they're going from tree to tree, like with a 12 gauge. Like that sounds like fun. Who wants to join me?
I think that might be a bigger find than me eating those condors.
You can't kill a flying squirrel?
Here they're protected.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you.
So they got vest on or what? How are they protected? Do they carry guns or what do they got?
They're like zombies.
I'm with you on the flying squirrels as long as we're gonna strip them down and eat them.
Oh yeah, we're gonna add some goat milk to them and fucking rub them in some Gouda goat cheese and put those on some skewers.
Flying squirrels are probably too lean. You just need to get the day squirrels.
They gotta stay lean, right? So they can do their.
Yeah, exactly. They're too lean. They're too skinny. They're too little. We'll just take the day squirrels.
Looks like they got baggy pants. Thanks, Steve. I'll have to check it out.
They're nice and fat. You know, you make like squirrel and dumplings out of them, or fry them up, whatever.
So kill. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to do something. My neighbor's got a peacock. We could try that out. See how that tastes.
Probably tastes like chicken.
That's what I was thinking, or turkey. I'm not sure. I haven't had peacock before.
I hear a lot of people, they say that peacocks make a lot of noise, but I've raised guineas before. They ain't no way in hell peacocks make more noise than a guinea.
What? I heard people keep peacocks, it's more of an alarm. So like, if you have rats trying to get into the chicken coop, or some type of small varmint like a possum or something. Those things get all fucking noisy and stuff and scare them off. It's kind of like a donkey in a pasture is kind of for coyotes. It's a protector.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Well, guineas are like that. Guineas are what moonshiners used. It doesn't matter. Well, actually, a lizard could walk across the yard and guineas would alert you to it. But moonshiners in the deep south, that's what they kept. They raised guineas to alert them when the revenuers come in. I mean, they make a lot of noise, but when somebody actually steps foot on your property, oh my God, do they make a shit ton of noise. It's like they always make noise, but you learn you learn to understand the difference between, okay, they saw a critter or whatever, or a fucking car starts driving up your driveway. They'll let you know as soon as that sumbitch crosses your damn property line.
They were talking about peacocks. Yeah, it was weird. I was gonna say, yeah, my wife tried bringing one on a plane, but it didn't work. I can't believe somebody would want to bring a fucking peacock on a plane. She did buy a seat for it though, so.
Hey, shit, Rick, when I was 5 years in China, people brought chickens on planes and all kinds of shit and crazy stuff.
That's because you're in China.
Loose, they just had them in a bag, they just be in their fucking bag. They get loose while they're sleeping and squawking and running all over, running all over the place.
That's awesome.
That's what you call airline food.
I wonder how TRprepper's been doing. I've been following his stuff down and drone flying and stuff down there. He should be coming back soon, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know when, but yeah.
Yeah, he's spending the winter in what is it, Bolivia?
Bolivia, yeah, he's been doing drone videos.
Oh, there's TRprepper right there.
Yeah, that's why I thought about it.
My computer must be slow.
I can't even see the chat.
Well, you're missing out on all sorts of.
Yeah, you're lucky they don't see what's that. Well, never mind.
The whole chat's been about you, Daniel. I figured you were watching all that shit.
Of course, it's always all about me.
Okay, Com said 25 more days, so I guess that makes it like March 1st or something like that. Coming back.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We did crazy shit when we were kids, but it was like trying to jump over 3 of our friends with a big wheel. Down the hill.
How'd that work out?
Well, I mean, there's bumps and bruises, but now kids are eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, well.
Remember back in the day, drinking soda pop and what are those crackle pop things? What the hell were those?
Pop rocks.
Pop rocks, yeah. Oh yeah, there was a kid that died from that, and blah blah blah. Now it's freaking Tide Pods. Holy shit!
If you watch any of them, how stupid can you get?
Well, I haven't watched one of those videos. I didn't even know there was some.
Yeah, they are.
They're not dying though, right? They're not.
Yeah, yeah.
They're actually eating that.
They're trying to. I don't know that any kids have died from it, but I'm sure many have gotten sick. And it's like, okay, yeah, we were stupid and we were trying to like jump bicycles off of car hoods and, we were very destructive, don't get me wrong, and we tried to destruct our bodies, but I don't remember ever thinking, hey guys, let's eat some poison and see how that goes. No. We're like, let me take this bicycle. I'm going to run it down this hill. I'm going to hit this car hood and see if I can fly like 30, 40 feet. And yeah, I may break an arm or two. But I never thought, let me eat some soap. Let me eat some poison. That never crossed my mind.
Well, they look kind of yummy, I guess.
I remember when they come out with the little green frowny faces that parents were supposed to put on all the poisons in the house. And even then, I was like, well, yes, you don't drink that. I mean, it's like, I already knew that. You didn't have to put a little funny sticker on it.
Yeah, simple green doesn't look like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I'm not drinking the Drano thinking, let me see how this tastes. Yeah.
There was a time when the young, like not so much infant, but like, you know, kids crawling around age, whatever that is, they would get into where they've been shown what like M&Ms and Skittles are, and then get into like their mom's medicine and shit. But you think after like the first one, when it doesn't taste all good, like you would stop there, you would think. But maybe the next one's gonna taste good. Nope, maybe the next one.
Well, I've said it before, and I'm going to be an asshole. There is a culling process that Mother Nature is starting to not take effect. I mean, there's kids that should stick forks in fucking electrical outlets. They are. You know,
Yeah.
it's like we got to call out this shit. You're not smart enough to. If you can't just survive childhood, we don't need you in society. You know?
Yeah, I kind of melted the carpet in the computer lab one time, putting a paper clip in the old, it glowing hot, and I'm trying to like whack it off, and it hit the carpet and like melted it and kind of caught on fire, and I put it out with my foot and all, but yeah, I did that one.
But
Well,
see,
tonight we're going to start hashtag ban bicycle helmets.
yeah. Well, the difference is like if you can survive all that, well, you earned your place in society, you know. But if you block all that to where the kids can't, you know, maybe not survive all that, because there's a lot of stupid people in America.
And in the herd.
That's why we have the Democratic Party.
There you go. Wrote a song about it.
I mean, we literally tried to destroy ourselves as children. Not, you know, or at least I did.
Scars are cool.
Yeah.
Chicks dig them. That's funny. It's WTF SoCal. That ding 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 ding. That when we're in chats and someone leaves, it's like, and then there's three ding 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 ding. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
TR, as a kid, what's the dumbest thing you did?
That's too broad of a question. I don't know. I really was fairly conservative as a kid. I know as a young teenager, there's a road in between me and Rick. And me and some buddies, we were probably like 13. We was on our 10 speeds. And I mean, it's a trek. It's a mountain. And we climbed that mountain on our 10 speeds, and on the way back, we were passing cars in curves. I mean, they're doing like 40 or so, 30, I don't know, maybe less than that. I don't know. We were like on 10 speeds, 13, 14 years old, leaned into a curve. I mean, almost like your elbow was on the ground, passing cars screaming down a mountain. I mean, it was like we were like that close to death the entire way down. So yeah, I've done some dumb shit. And there was no helmets. There was no elbow pads, knee pads, and all that. No, we were like teenagers, probably was sucking on fucking Whoppers or chocolate bars on the way down. I mean,
knee pads were where the tough skins wore out and your mom put the patch back on. That was your knee pad.
Yeah, that was your knee pad. Yeah, the iron-on patches.
Exactly, that was my knee pad.
Rick.
Oh, I don't know if we want to get into this. I'm having a lot of flashbacks, and I'm not sure which ones I want to pick.
The one that came closest to killing you.
Killing me? As a kid, right? Keep talking. Let me think.
Yeah, not at the farm.
Yeah.
Don't have PSD flashbacks.
I think the closest thing to killing me was a fire I was on, but that wasn't when I was a kid.
As far as you know.
As far as I know.
That was the thing.
I don't know. I used to wait for Halloween. Halloween was like, we were in a small town, so it was like, it was like Halloween was it. It was like, yeah, I need 5 cases of eggs and, just being bad, toilet paper and a bunch of shit, kids walking out of a grocery store wouldn't normally have. But
Rick, they don't even do that today. It's too much work, It's like, kids don't even know what the hell good times were with toilet paper and eggs and, long threads tied to people's door knockers from across the street.
Yeah.
Pulling them in bang. I mean, this kid's got no it's too much effort now. They say, hell no, it's all on my phone. I'm not going to.
I don't know. I got quite a few good stories, but not so much about death. More of just being a pain in the ass freaking kid. We'll save those for after chats.
Okay.
Rick's
I played with
reputation.
rockets.
Rockets?
Rockets. Those Tesla rockets.
Was that like Estes fuel?
Yeah, Estes rockets. Yeah, had all that there. Started building them. They were too boring. So I just started taking the fins off.
Until my friend wanted to hold one in his hand when it lit it, and got some real vicious 3rd-degree burns holding on to the damn thing when it.
I ended up just launching the motors with nothing on them, and they just go all over the place like this, and you'd be ducking, trying not to get hit. Well, that was too boring, so I filled the tops of them with gunpowder and put a cap on it. Figured, okay, this will go boom now. So it started chasing me around the yard, and then the powder just fizzed out. It didn't actually explode. Well, that's boring. Now, my parents took all my motors away from me. Well, okay, now I just got my wire, my batteries, and my igniters. Hey, there's some blasting caps. What's going to happen if I put this blasting cap in some 50-50 fertilizer?
Oh shit.
Well,
with a 10-foot cord. I put that under. I put that underneath the stump.
Don't leave us hanging.
I put that can. I got a can of fertilizer. Put it under a tree stump. Dug myself a hole 10 feet away. Got in it. I blew that tree stump went 50 feet in the air, and landed like 3 inches from my head.
Oh damn.
That ain't no bullshit right there. That's dangerous stuff. I'm waiting for TR to start making his own, try and make his own hand grenades down there or something in the back.
I was usually the guy telling my buddies, this isn't a good idea. I was always in the mix, but I was like the guy that would always be like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, we called those guys buzzkills.
I think the only reason why 2 of them are still alive is because I said, that's probably not a good idea. We had one guy, we used to have Nathan was his name, high school buddy of mine. He had a badass 5.0 Mustang, and we were probably doing 100 miles an hour on the freeway. And Shane, he decides he wants to see what it's like to sit above the car as we're driving. So he goes through the sunroof thing, and I'm holding his feet, and he's sitting on basically the roof as we're going. And oh man, so that was another. This probably isn't a good idea. So those were the kind of guys I hung around. But I'm alive.
If you want to get into cars in the teenage years, oh my God, how in the hell I'm still alive today? Woo! Back in the 80s, damn it. Street racing. Yeah, I've been in some very close calls. How I'm still here today is a fucking wonder.
See, I did a lot of jumping, but I never raced. I did a lot of dirt stuff. We'd go out in the middle of nowhere and jump cars and shit, but never I never did much on the roads where people were.
No, I'm talking doing literally. Now, I can't, I mean, you're talking old technology. Okay, in the 80s, this is probably one of the worst ones. I know I've told this story before, but in case anybody hadn't heard it, my buddy had a 1973 Dodge Charger. 1973. This is back in the 80s, not the new ones. These the old shit, And we come out of Travelers Rest, and we started racing a new Mustang at the time. It was probably like a 83, 84 Mustang. And so we started racing him. Boom. We hammer down. Left that sumbitch sitting in the wind, And my buddy let off the gas, and a fucking Corvette coming around. At the time, a new Corvette. It was like a, 84, 85 that year. And that Corvette was coming up, and he nailed it again. And we passed by Furman University. I don't know how accurate the speedometer was, but the speedometer did read up to over 150 miles an hour. We were doing 150 fucking miles an hour by the fucking college. Windows down. Of course, we didn't have fucking seatbelts on. And my buddy looks over at me and says, "The throttle's stuck." I didn't know whether to jump out, jump in the back seat. I didn't know what the hell to do. And he finally just cut the ignition off. We didn't know what to do. To complete the story, we finally slowed down and eased off the road. He didn't even have a breather on it. I mean, it was just a raw carburetor, a double pumper, mechanical carburetor. It fucking spit gas all over the damn engine. Steam or smoke was rolling under the hood, and we jumped out, and he was like, "Well, open the hood." And I was like, "Fuck you, it's your car, you open the hood." We finally popped the hood open. There was literally pools of gas laying on top of the engine, just steaming off. And he just reached over there, and he like popped the carburetor, and the linkage, popped back. We shut the hood, got back in the car, went back in, jumped back in it, and went down to Main Street in Greenville, South Carolina, and we cruised Maine that night. It was like that close to fucking dying. It was like, all right, it's okay now. Let's go cruise Maine.
Yeah, we're good now.
And here's TR and his buddy looking down there.
Yeah.
That smells like gas.
Yeah, that's the shit we done. Of course, there wasn't a population explosion in Greenville. There was like no cars on the road back then, But yeah, we done some crazy shit. I've done a lot of damn drag racing on the road back in the 80s. And you never even, you just pulled up to a red light, and you just look over to the other guy, and you'd rev your engine, and he'd rev his. It was like, all right, let's go. You get up to 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, and you slow down. It's like, okay, I won or lost. That was it.
What was the place you hung out at? Noggles was the place in high school.
Well, most of the places back when I was in high school, they were still cruising main streets. So we cruised, there were like Pickens Main Street, Easley, and Greenville, and actually Hendersonville too in North Carolina. We would cruise Hendersonville, North Carolina as well. But they kept trying to shut them down, and they keep shutting them down, which I didn't really, even as a teenager, didn't understand. It's like, okay, well, if we can't hang around here, we'll just go drink beer and ride around on back streets. I mean, it almost didn't really make sense even then. It's like, but you got us all right here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to keep us right here and control us? No, okay, you want to shut this down? Well, fuck it. We'll just go down back streets and drink beer and raise hell and
see, we go find like a hill, and we named like every hill. So it's like, all right, everybody, go to the dog. You know, and we'd head off over to freaking, or Blueberry Hill was another one. You know, it had names, and we'd have bonfire pits, and it'd be fun. Like everybody'd be drinking and having fun, listening to music and shit. And then I remember I used to have a pager as a volunteer, so my pager would go off, and they'd send a dispatch out to that fire. So we'd be like, okay, wrap this shit up. We're out of here. Put this thing out. We'll get the fuck out of here. So we had a little extra intel back in the day.
Well, you live near it now, Rick. You've probably heard of the Cliffs of Glassy. I don't know if you have or not, but
No.
it's a mountain nearby here. And they put golf course on top of the mountain, and you know, these really, really high dollar houses and all that. But back when I was in high school, it was a dirt road up to the top of that, and that's where you went, and all the teenagers went and drank beer and had orgies and all kind of horse shit going on up there. I mean, it was a wild time up there. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is the Cliffs of Glassy, and we have a golf course and all that. And I'm thinking, back in the 80s, that's where you went up there to go fuck.
Yeah. Right where your house pad is.
But it's a prestigious place to be now. And it's like, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That smells stomping your ass.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how neat and tidy. No, I shouldn't say surprised, but how nice your area was around there, TR. You know,
it is. It really is. I mean,
you went to that chicken plucking festival or whatever you went to. You uploaded that video, whatever the hell it was, something Mark Twain Festival or something down there. Yeah.
What was that in Saluda?
Coon Dog Festival. I can't remember.
Barbecue Festival or something. What the hell was it?
Well, I've been to a Coon Dog. Bacon Fest.
Bacon Fest. Yeah, Bacon
Fest.
Where's that at? Was that Saluda?
No, it's in Travelers Rest, actually.
Wow.
TR.
And I was like, damn, this is a nice looking place. Not that I thought you lived in a sty, but I'm just saying, wow, you know.
Now they have done a really good job. I mean, as much as I don't want to, but as much as it just seems ironic, you know, cow pastures and mountains that used to just be hangouts and bullshit places to go, all of a sudden there are these prestigious places. But that Bacon Fest, that was at my old high school. They moved to high school, and that was the old high school grounds. And they got an amphitheater, and they do car shows and concerts and stuff there now. But I thought Bacon Fest, I had to say, I was kind of proud of them for doing that. I was like, there you go, TR. Do Bacon Fest. Not a Muslim within a fucking 50 miles of there. And kiss my ass if y'all don't like it.
There you go.
Now the silence.
Well, if you don't want to be offended, don't come here.
Good point. Good point.
I'm going to have a visitor tomorrow.
Has he got a beard?
Yep.
Has he got 9 fingers?
Yep.
Cool.
He's
Tell him
got-
I said hi.
Well, I guess he finally learned that you need to unlock the scope to be able to move the reticle.
Ah.
So
Bad Billy 429 is asking me about my truck. I don't know if you guys are aware of the YouTube news or not, but so I was headed to the farm at 5:30 in the morning. I made it all the way to Columbia, and my truck took a shit on me. And I got this thing loaded up with guns and ammo and shit in it. So I had to get a tow truck. Got to the Ford dealer, dropped it off. Yeah, it's a Ford. And then I got a rental car. So I had to drive the rental car back to the Ford dealership and load all my shit in it and then haul ass to the farm. So do a little practicing. So it was a fun day, even though my truck. So the moral of the story is they still haven't called me and told me what's wrong with it. So I have no idea.
What exactly did it do?
It just died, stalled completely out. It had a transmission light and some other light. And I don't know. And luckily I got over and off the road. And
Sounds like
it would crank over, but it wouldn't start. So I don't know what it is.
Fuel line problem or something. Fuel problem.
Do you know what those lights meant, Rick?
Yeah, I mean something's wrong with it.
Yeah, you ain't getting there.
Exactly. It means you need a rental car. So I had to rent a truck. I got a rental truck, and now I got to sitting in my driveway here.
All right. I don't know if I'm authorized to show this or not, but let me show you something. Many of you know Tom Olfison. I know Rick does and some other people. Well, he sent a picture to me via Rob of his son.
Oh, here we go. Another De Niro in training. Shit.
Are you sure that ain't your son?
I started a fucking trend. Look, check that out.
A young De
It looks
Niro.
like me a little bit, don't it?
He does.
Man,
It looks like your son that you don't know about yet.
oh, shit, it's spread like a virus now. Oh, shit.
I don't know. It was. Did Tom send that as an accusation?
He just sent Rob, said, send this to TR. I don't have his number. And Rob sent it to me. And I was like, holy shit, I started a trend.
That's awesome. Now you got a stunt double, TR. So when bullets are flying,
Next time I go out shooting at the steel targets with AR-15, I had to bring in my stunt double.
I loved your De Niro one.
Old Tom, he can start doing some really fun parodies. Tom could be Pops, and his son could be TR.
he's a cool
Put on
guy.
a fake beard.
Yeah, Tom's son's probably younger than I am. That's for damn sure.
That's awesome.
That kind of caught me off guard. It was like, holy shit, that's cool as hell.
TR Jr.
Yeah, Mario, now I know what my Halloween costume is this year. The reason I have a mohawk, and I've said this many times, is here in a month, I'll be 50 years old. I know it's not all pretty and standing up right now. I'm almost 50 and I can have a mohawk. That's the reason I have a mohawk.
Exactly. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. Susan, yeah, I'm 49. Within a month, I'm going to be 50. And most people have a reverse mohawk at 50. I can have a full mohawk at 50. And that's why I have one. There you go. Let me stand it up.
There you go. There ain't much gray in that either. I think I got you beat on the gray.
If I let it grow out, the camera don't do it justice. There's a lot of gray in it. Definitely in my damn mohawk. I mean, goatee. You know, I got a lot of gray in there. Tom's out there. That was pretty cool, Tom. I appreciate that.
Now, Tom, go find another relative that looks like Pops.
I don't know if Amanda wants to know what day. I ain't going to get that damn personal. It's in March. I'll tell you that. There you go. Let me stand it up.
Put some goat milk on that TR. Maybe a little Gouda cheese. Melted Gouda cheese.
Goat meat good, dude. It is.
I bet it is.
I've been around cows a lot too when I was growing up. The worst pain I think I ever felt in my life was a damn cow stepping on my foot.
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
Actually, the worst pain actually wasn't the cow stepping on my foot. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. There was a buddy of mine. His dad had a little farm, and the cow stepped on my foot, and of course it was hurting like hell. And his dad took me into the house and put some kind of what do you call it?
Was it red?
I don't know. It was Watkins liniment or something, some shit on it. And it caught that. I mean, literally, I think if it was literally on fire, it wouldn't have hurt any less. And then his dad had just looked at me and laughed. It was like, it didn't hurt this much before. It hurts worse now. I mean, I was like in tears. He put this shit on my foot that made it catch on fire. And it was like, even if I had broke bones before, it hurts worse now. His dad was just laughing at me. I think it was all set up.
You notice everybody's a doctor when they're not the one hurt.
Yeah.
What you do is you get some lemon juice and Tabasco and you swirl it all around and then you pour it on there and splash it a little bit.
Well, it's about what it was. Like, oh, come on, boy, let me put some of this on there. It'll make it feel better. And he rubbed that shit on there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh. No, he just started fucking bellowing out, laughing at my ass. You know,
it made them feel better for sure.
Yeah, 12, 13-year-old. He somehow got enjoyment out of seeing a 12 or 13-year-old suffer.
Just piss on everything.
Don't say that around Rick with goats.
Yeah, no shit.
I still say it goes back to a state fair thing or something, Rick.
No, that was the story.
You need to get psychoanalyzed, get in there with the hypnosis and see what the hell happened back in that.
It'd still be Dusty pissing in his mouth.
Ain't going to change, huh?
Nope. You know what? It's not that I don't want to eat goat. I feel that, you know what? I'm being nice. There'd be extra goat meat for you guys to eat. I'll be over here shooting something else, eating that.
I eat goat. Like I said, I ate fucking squirrel when I was a teenager. So basically, I eat rat. Anything above a rat, hell, that's fucking gourmet.
I think we just need to go into town, catch a bunch of rats, and tell Rick it's squirrel.
I wouldn't know the difference.
They ain't. Well, now I take it back. Squirrels got pretty tails. They got the furry little tails. Other than that, they're a damn tree. They're a tree rat. That's what they are.
Yeah.
But if you cook them right, they're damn good eating.
Now, have you heard about the quarter trick?
Oh Lord.
Where you want to call in squirrels, you put a quarter like this in your hand. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you use these hands as different noises, or like to open up and make different noises. Then you grab the other quarter, and it sounds like they're cutting, basically chewing on. And you can do this, and you'll see the squirrels sit there, so it'll give you more time to shoot at them, because they're wondering what you're cutting, or they're wondering where the squirrel's at. But that sounds like a tree squirrel cutting something.
How many squirrels have you gotten doing that?
Huh?
How many squirrels have you got doing that?
Well, I've got a bunch to come out. I haven't really shot them because I'm kind of saving them up for if I ever need to eat them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you need to put out some bird feeders and all that stuff and fatten them up just in case for hard times. Keep all them squirrels around your house good and fat.
That's pretty impressive.
Rick will be out in the woods clicking his quarters. We're sitting on the porch watching our bird feeders.
That's pretty impressive, I'll tell you. Amazing.
Oh man, I used to see ground squirrels are completely different than tree squirrels. Obviously, one's in the trees and one's in the ground.
Yeah,
in California, there really is no trees, so they got to go on the ground.
Yeah, it's like Com said, though, you can't shoot them because your hands are full of quarters.
Well, they'll see a ground squirrel. I used to have calls for ground squirrels because, man, I used to keep the property nice and trimmed down on the squirrels.
If you put bird
But you
feeders
don't need a ground squirrel. You don't need a ground squirrel.
I've said that for years, even before I was a prepper or whatever. It's like, I'm gonna keep these damn squirrels all fattened up just in case. We'll have a few meals before we get desperate anyway.
And you can shoot them. You got your pistol. You got these two fingers. Do-do-do-do. They're looking pink.
Nah, squirrels ain't hard to fucking kill. You just walk through the woods. Oh, there's one. Pow.
Yeah. Just shoot them in the ear.
In the ear hole.
Yep.
We're about to wrap this up, but I will tell you one quick story. As a teenager, me and my buddies and even other teenagers around that wasn't quite in our clique or whatever, there was this one squirrel nest we went to. I don't care. We would leave it alone for a few weeks and go back to it. We called it the Squirrel Horror House. And because you could go back every 2 or 3 weeks and there'll be squirrels in it. No matter how many squirrels you killed out of it, we just assumed it was a whorehouse. And so we would go there and blast squirrels out of this big fucking nest, go back 2 or 3 weeks later, and there'd be more squirrels there. So we just assumed it was a whorehouse.
It probably was.
It's like, they always come back. No, it don't matter. As a little, I don't know, I guess that was an inside joke, but it was really true. I mean, we would literally go there every month and kill squirrels out of this one freaking nest. So we just nicknamed it the whorehouse.
It was the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I'd take the squirrels back. I'd clean them. My grandma would fry them up for me, and I'd eat squirrel that night. I will say it's not that my dad taught really good hunting ethics to me, but if I killed something, I pretty much ate it. So when I went squirrel hunting or whatever, I would bring it home, clean it out, and my grandma would cook it up for me. Whether I wanted it or not, I mean, I think I had some good hunting ethics to my sport or whatever it was. I mean, there was something about living off the land, even as a young teenager, that appealed to me. Even though my dad wasn't a hunter, I picked all that up from my buddies and stuff that I grew up with.
That's good. That's good to do.
Other than possums that would get in our rabbit gums, and we would just kill them to be killing them because they were fucking up our rabbit gums.
Rabbit runs? Rabbit what?
Gums. We call them rabbit gums. That's I didn't name it. That's just what they call them. A rabbit trap. You're hoping to catch a squirrel or a rabbit. A possum will get in it, and once a possum gets in it, a squirrel or a rabbit won't get in it again because it stinks it up. Daniel probably knows what I'm talking about.
I've never used a snare on it, but I know that them possums are the greasiest, nastiest smelling things that ever walk.
They're meaner than hell too.
And then there's goat.
Goat.
Well,
cool.
cool.
All right, we hit the 2-hour mark. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I do appreciate it. I don't know where and all we went with this chat, but we definitely was all over the board, from hot rods, economics, stock market, to why Rick don't like goat, and
goat jerky juice gel. Here you go.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I gotta go to work tomorrow. So anyway, Rosie, would you like to do an outro?
Yeah, just saying, keep your wits about you the next couple days. This might be one of those things. We had an unprecedented straight up rise in the market. Might have been something that just needed a 10% pullback. It's got that now. So remember, the big changes of directions don't happen on the drops. They happen on the rally. And we'll see how much ground this can retake. If it looks like it's struggling or starting to run out of steam, I'd use that as maybe your last chance, the last lifeboat off of this market. So thanks, TR, and good to see you, Rick and Daniel. Always an honor to be on with you in the side chat, the best in the business.
Thanks,
well, I will say, one thing right quick on that, Rosie. Maybe it was a hesitation. I don't know. I was listening to some talk radio that they actually mentioned that gold really didn't change state, and usually when the market falls, the gold goes up, and gold just kind of maintained. I don't know if it went up a little bit or went down a little bit, but I think the market realized it was just a correction and didn't freak out. So,
yep, we'll see in the next week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it takes more than a day or two.
Yep.
All right. Rick, is your 6 covered? Would you like to do an outro?
No, thanks. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you showing up and supporting TR and everybody here. Other than that, you guys are wonderful. Stay tuned for more videos, and get over to X-Ring and check out his channel. Really good shooter. See you guys.
Rick, what's your Chinese zodiac? The goat? What the hell is it?
Yeah, it's a goat.
Okay, there, I thought so. There we go.
It's the day of the goat. The year of the goat piss. Hey, next time you have a piece of cheese, smell that nasty shit. I know exactly what that is. That's goat piss. Hopefully that'll scar you.
Just had a bad teenage experience trying to.
Goat's cheese stock just went down 5 points.
And what happened was Rick was trying to not be a virgin anymore and had a bad experience with a goat. And now he has nightmares about it.
I'll stay away from the chainsaw.
Daniel, would you like to do an outro?
Well, hey, Rosie, Rick, nice talking to you guys tonight. TR, thanks for having me on. And I think what I'm going to do in the morning is I'm going to go out there and shoot a couple squirrels, cook them up, and after some certain person eats them, I'm just going to tell them they're rats.
Rats with pretty tails. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for coming in, and we really appreciate it. Hopefully everybody had a good time. I know I did, and I hope everybody in the external did. And we'll see you again next week. Later, everybody.
Thumbs this shit up.
Goat lives matter. Goat lives matter.
Yeah, goat lives matter. Goat meat matters is more important.
Goats pee in their mouth and make goat peas. Have fun with that.